You know, on most days, Twitter is basically a bunch of misinformation, NFT art scam, and a bunch of OnlyFans model posting porn underneath the replies of famous streamers. But today is a good day. Because today is the day I found out that an anime convention broke the Geneva Convention. Now, this story centers around Ohayocon, which is an anime convention that takes place in, you guessed it, Ohio! Which, sidebar, can I just say how amazing that name is? Now, I've been to a ton of anime conventions as a kid, but usually you basically just take the first letter of whatever city the con took place in and jammed it in front of the word anime, or maybe you add some like generic word associated to your country and then jammed it after anime. But this, you are taking a Japanese word that is also a pun on your con location. Now that is some top tier naming sense. I mean, mwah!
Wow, that is delicious. Finally, some good fucking
names. The convention is owned by Melissa Phelps and has been going strong since 2001 and has attracted a total number of 13,000 attendees last year. However, just 12 short months later, the convention's total attendance number will drop all the way down to 4,000. There will be a massive boycott over the entire convention where all of the staff members would have walked out, and the organization would face legal trouble from the Red Cross organization. So, how on earth did that happen? Well, to answer that question, we need to roll our clock all the way back to 2022. Now, this was the year that Melissa became the sole owner of Ohayocon, and it's also the year that she formed the organization Sissy, which was supposed to act as a governing body over the entirety of Ohayocon. The organization's official goal is to promote Asian culture awareness while serving the community, but in reality, Melissa really just created this organization to transition Ohayocon into a non-profit organization. The Sissy board is currently composed of Emily DeJesus, Justin Nordell, and Melissa's own daughter, Katie Phelps, with Melissa on as a non-voting member of the board. Though, another sidebar here, anyone else find it weird that an organization created to promote Asian culture does not have a single Asian on the board? I mean, I feel like that's a pretty necessary component of the job. But that's not the only thing that's problematic about Sissy. You see, while Ohayocon eventually aims to become a non-profit organization, it is right now still very much owned by Melissa Phelps, which means Sissy really only gets as much power as Melissa lets them have, and she ultimately gets final say. A great example of this happened during August 2022, where Melissa told the board that she wanted a salary of around $60,000 per year for her position, and that she wanted an additional $15,000 for backtrack payment of all the work she has done for the convention so far.
Well, what's wrong with that? People should be compensated for their work.
Well, my frankly terrifying viewer, you're absolutely correct. Everyone should have the right of fair compensation for their work. However, there are two important caveats to this. Number one, Ohayocon, much like many other conventions, is solely run by volunteer, which means no one else is receiving a salary. The second problem was that Melissa asked this during a time where Ohayocon only had $4,000 left in the bank and they needed another 20 grand per month until December, which means they literally did not have the money to pay her.
Wait, didn't you say this is a convention of 18,000 people? How can I only have $4,000?
That is an excellent question. How can an organization of this magnitude be this lacking in fund? Well, according to Cody Markham, their former director chair, the budget has always started at $0 for the past 2 years. And apparently, Cody attributed the reason for this for ineptitude and theft from both Melissa and the previous con owner. Now, for legal reason, I want to stress that Melissa has denied these claims, and these are solely the opinion of Cody Markham, their former convention director. So, please don't sue me. Sadly, even without the financial debacle, many staff members were unsatisfied with Melissa's leadership. There were multiple reports of abuse from Melissa to several staff members. A lot of people reported that Melissa would scream at their faces, telling them they were incompetent and worthless. One person even said that Melissa told them to suck it up and everyone has problem after she told her that her house flooded. Jesus Christ, Melissa, what the fuck? Now, unsurprisingly, due to this, many volunteers decided to unite and form the organization known as Coven. They compiled a list of demands that they presented to Sissy, which included a code of conduct so that Melissa will stop screaming at people's faces, fair compensation such as hotel room or flight tickets, and finally, more transparency in the whole financing aspect just to make sure no money was being stolen or skimmed off the top. Now, the formation of a quasi-union of volunteers is basically every bad boss's worst nightmare. However, there was another big issue waiting for Ohayocon just right around the corner. On February 17, 2023, Ohayocon received a letter from the Red Cross organization informing them that they were in violation of the Geneva Convention. Now, this is where I'll love to tell you that Ohayocon performed chemical warfare on any dub enjoyer, or that they tortured anyone who dare skip the opening. But this was actually more of a logo dispute. You see, the Red Cross organization was basically informing Ohayocon that they were using an unauthorized version of the Red Cross in their logo, and that was a federal crime.
Wait, what? But that logo looks nothing like the Red Crosses.
You know, for a bunch of tentacles without eyes, you sure are observant, but you're absolutely right. This doesn't look anything like the Red Cross organization's logo. Well, that's because, dear viewers, I have been showing you guys an updated version of the logo. This is what the original looked like. And yeah, I can see why the Red Cross reached out. Luckily for Ohayocon, the Red Cross gave them until April 30th to change all of their logos. So, on April 22nd, Ohayocon revealed their brand new logo and... ta-da! Yeah, they really just used the fill bucket tool on paint to make it blue, didn't they? Now, to be fair, Ohayocon has always stated this was going to be a temporary logo, and luckily for them, their director of marketing, Aaron, was also a professional artist. The new logo design process took several meetings, and they went through many designs before finally landing on the Sakura symbol that I've been showing you guys throughout this video. However, this logo was not to the liking of Sissy and Melissa. In fact, Melissa stated that she wanted something more hand-drawn and not just something that looked like it's ripped right off of Google. She also stated that the flower looked like a butthole, which... that's a hell of a visual. Sadly, despite their dislike of this logo, Sissy and Melissa refused to elaborate on what they actually wanted. So finally, Aaron, their director of marketing, put their foot down and said, "Look guys, if you can't figure out what you actually want, I'm just not gonna make any more mock-ups anymore." And then they ghosted her for 3 whole months. Seriously, for 3 whole months, the staff member kept having logo meeting where they invited Melissa and everyone from Sissy, and nobody showed up to even a single meeting. They didn't even bother to put themselves offline on Discord because during one of the logo meetings, the people present could see that one of the Sissy members, which remember have skipped every meeting, was playing fucking Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, come on, I'm an Asterian simp as much as the next guy, but there are limits here, people. Finally, the staff leadership just couldn't wait any longer. They urgently needed to replace all of the existing signage with the brand new logo. So, on September 1st, they finally pulled the trigger, bought the signage, and their director, Cody Markham, updated all of their social media with the brand new Sakura logo. And for a while, everything looked fine. I mean, Melissa did reach out to Cody asking him if they could put the old logo back, but since that old logo was in violation of the Geneva Convention, Cody said no. And that issue seemed to be resolved. In fact, that same week, Melissa held a senior leadership meeting with all of the Sissy member and all of the senior staff member, and she didn't even bring up the logo issue. So, problem solved, right? Wrong! Instead of resolving this logo disagreement like an adult, Melissa decided instead to fire both Cody and Aaron from the organization. In fact, Aaron only found out that they were fired from fucking Twitter. To be honest with you, I wasn't even aware that you could fire unpaid workers, but apparently Melissa found a way. And plus, because I guess Melissa was feeling extra productive that day, she also allegedly locked most senior membership out of their vital tools to run the convention. So people started losing access to their email, their Facebook group chat, even their Amazon business account for the badge numbers. Now, a lot of people saw this as Melissa blatantly punishing a lot of the senior membership for participating in Coven, which was the quasi-union that we were talking about. But don't worry, Melissa and Sissy had a great statement on why this wasn't union busting. In fact, this is what Sissy responded. Well, Sissy would love its Ohayocon volunteers to have the ability to unionize. National and Ohio state labor laws prevent unpaid volunteers of any kind from forming a union. As such, no Ohayocon union has ever or could ever exist, and no union busting has or even could take place. Don't you get it, guys? It's not union busting because it's a network of volunteers, so they're not a union. I mean, what kind of technically correct legal invading bullshit is that?
Stop right there! Get your hands up! Ah! Officer! I'm so sorry. What have I done wrong? You're under arrest for fiddling a minor. What do you have to say for yourself? No, officer, this is a misunderstanding. I know she looks like a kid, but she's actually a 3,000-year-old dragon. This is perfectly legal.
Huh. Well, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Sissy is a good representation of the anime community after all. Well, sadly, that excuse worked about as well for Sissy as it did for me explaining my body pillow to my parents, because hours after, Coven released a list of demands to Sissy that included the reinstatement of Cody Markham as their convention director and the elimination of Melissa Phelps from the organization. And I'm sure we all know how this goes when a group of workers make a demand to the boss. They succeed, apparently. Yeah, Melissa released a statement like right away saying that she would be stepping down from her position. Wow, I genuinely cannot remember the last time when a negotiation tactic like that has been this successful. Shout out to Melissa, actually. Maybe she isn't that bad after. Nope, I should have kept reading. Melissa would be stepping down from her position and becoming the head of Sissy's board of director. So basically, she's gonna keep the same amount of power, but also get more money. So, yay for union negotiation, I guess. Now, obviously, the workers were not thrilled by this development. So, on October 6th, they announced that they were going on strike and that they were inviting everyone to boycott the event. From there, a lot of people wanted to show their support for the workers, so they started asking for a refund from the organization. But haha, surprise! The PayPal of the organization is Melissa's personal PayPal. So haha, joke's on you. You ain't getting your refund, bitch!
Okay, well, they can always cancel the bank transactions, I guess.
Yeah, about that, apparently a lot of the bank had Ohayocon listed as a charity, which it is not, so the bank could not cancel any of the transactions. Seeing this PR nightmare unfold, Sissy needed to quickly have someone be in charge of public communication and in charge of processing the refund. And luckily for them, they had just a man for the job, Justin Nordell. A man who is so great, he ran a 61-year-old folk music festival into the ground with $200,000 in debt. Now that's a man I want in charge of my organization's public-facing relationships. To start off his tenure, Justin decided to organize some kind of meeting with all of the remaining Ohayocon staff members' leaderships.
Oh, well, that's good. He's probably gonna try and work something out with the workers, right?
What? No! Of course not. Have you been listening to anything I've been talking about today? No. Justin started off this meeting by telling every senior leadership that they were incompetent and that they were easily replaceable. So, to thank him for his honesty, all of the senior leadership members decided to resign and to join the strike. And there you have it. A convention that once held 13,000 people opened its door on January 21st, 2024 to less than 4,000 total attendees. The halls were empty, the events were bare bone, and the cosplay trophy, which used to be these gorgeous pieces of artwork, were reduced to these cheap 3D printed plastic models which weren't even properly sanded. So the moral of the story here is, if you're ever going to run any kind of event, respect your worker. Thank them for putting in their time and effort into this community-driven event, and for the love of God, do not skip your business meeting to play Baldur's Gate 3. Hi everyone, N-Card Scrambits here. I'm streaming on twitch.tv/Scrambits some Baldur's Gate 3 right now with friends, so if you're not in a business meeting, come check me out. It'll be a ton of fun. See you there.